Before we get going with today's show, we have a question for you. You guys have enjoyed the historical-ish questions. So who do you think is the hardest-hitting Steeler of all time? Maybe it's Mean Joe Green. Maybe it's Jack Lambert. Maybe it's somebody else altogether. Get those answers in for us in the comment section right now. You're watching Pittsburgh Steelers Talk by Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey. In today's video, we're taking a look at five-ish notable undrafted free agents who could end up making the roster. Guys that could surprise and join a rather strong legacy of undrafted free agents in Steelers history. Of course, you know old school names like Donnie Shell and Jack Butler. And I would argue maybe one of the better undrafted free agents of all time in James Harrison, the edge rusher, especially if you're a younger fan like your boy is here. And of course, don't forget about Fast Willie Parker as well. A very short-lived but fun run as well. Some notable names there. Before we get into our list for this year's class in 2022, we want to welcome all of the new subscribers here at Pittsburgh Steelers Talk and remind you that you might not have your notifications set to all. If you want to be a part of the Noti gang here at Chat Sports and Steelers Talk and get a push sent to your phone every single time there's a new video out, go click that bell where you first subscribed. When you first sub, it defaults to personalized instead of all, meaning you won't get a notification each time there's a new video here at Steelers Talk. So make sure you do that right now. All right, into our top five-ish undrafted free agents who can make the team. First up is Chris Owens. We're going to label him as an interior offensive lineman for Alabama. Owens played kind of all over the line. He got some reps at tight end when they went with their big packages. Right tackle this past year, center in the past. In general, when you have played center and right tackle, you can play guard as well. So there is some position versatility here for Chris Owens. I did not think he played that great at Alabama, but his build is indicative of a guard. I think moving inside the guard will benefit him in terms of his strengths and weaknesses. Experienced Alabama football player with position versatility, that could be enough for you to crack that 9th or 10th man on the offensive line rotation. That's what Owens is aiming for there as one of the more maybe recognizable names given where he played among this year's undrafted free agency crop. Now, how confident are you in the offensive line? Scale it for me 1 to 100. 1 being you are panicking. This is the offensive line that's going to get all the quarterbacks killed in 1 year. They can't block me and you. 100 being best offensive line in ever. It's somewhere in the middle. So we're going to make this question the pinned comment on today's video. If the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know how confident you are in the offensive line. Here's one of my guys, Tyree Johnson, the edge rusher out of Texas A&M. I had a 6th round grade on him. He is undersized. He does not have great length at sub 31-inch arms. T-Rex arms, we'd like to call them for us draft nerds here. But the production was pretty good at A&M. 9 tackles for loss, 8.5 sacks. I thought the film was pretty bursty and bendy, which is valuable. It is tough to find those players, especially as undrafted free agents. I think he is a good fit in a 3-4 scheme at 6'2.5", 248 pounds. The medical was a red flag. He did not test at the combine. There was a knee issue that was flagged, so we'll see what the status is of that. Played through a foot injury as well at the back end of the 2021 campaign. Johnson's talent, I thought, was draftable, which makes him a very appealing, for me, UDFA option. Where he could run into problems here is the depth that exists at edge. I still like Derek Tuska, the former Bronco. The Steelers added, of course, you got Alex Highsmith, TJ Watt. Maybe Johnson can be that 4th edge coming off the pass rush here. Keep an eye on him to make this roster. Next up, as we stick on the defense side of the football here, that is Chris Steele, the cornerback out of USC. He and Isaac Taylor-Stewart both went undrafted. I liked Steele, I think a little bit more than Taylor-Stewart. In general, I was underwhelmed by the USC play when it comes to their defense, and I think maybe I dinged their players too much, but maybe not. At a 7th round grade here on Chris Steele. Former top 50 recruit. Florida fans might remember him. He enrolled early. He was paired up with Jaylen Jones, his teammate, and he's like, I got to get out of here. Jones is not a good person, and then Jones ended up being accused of multiple sexual assaults, and he bailed from Florida, got a waiver to play immediately at USC, never quite put it all together. He doesn't trust his footwork. He's very handsy, going to lead to flags as well, but he's a good athlete, former highly touted recruit, a good UDFA pickup here. The path to playing time is not there immediately. Keller Witherspoon, Levi Wallace, Cam Sutton. But I think Steele could push for one of those last roster spots at the cornerback position. Maybe he ends up getting into a spot where he's the 5th or 6th corner and contributes in that area. I don't want to play him right now. He needs time. But at minimum, this is a good practice squad guy to keep an eye out for. Now, when it comes to the cornerback room overall here for Pittsburgh, do they need to add a little bit more depth? Type in Y for yes, they do, or N. No, they're good. That's not an area of concern. I want to hear from you guys in the comment section right now. While you're down there, by the way, make sure you are subscribed to us here at Pittsburgh Steelers Talk. We've got daily videos on everything going on around the NFL. I know the offseason might be slowing down, but we are not. We're going to keep giving you guys videos, so hit that big red button and sub right now. I'm cheating here, kind of, sort of, with my 4th UDFA. It's 2 of them, Jaylen Warren and Mateo Durant. Now, we'll spend some time on both of these guys here. Warren is the one that intrigues me the most. I love the frame or the size at 5'8", 215. In general, I actually like it when my backs are a little bit thicker because I think that results in more broken tackles. Thick with 2 C's, by the way. So, running back depth is an area of concern, at least for me when I look at this roster right now. Obviously, Najee Harris is a stud, awesome football player. Benny Snell, Anthony McFarland, Trey Edmonds. It's not really moving the needle for me all that much. So both Mateo Durant, who's a very different build at 6'1", 195. So we're talking about a couple inches taller and weigh about 20 pounds lighter. That's a big gap there in terms of their play styles. Durant is a bit more of the speedy player. Warren brings you more of the battering ram style. Both have their value. I would keep an eye out for one, maybe both of those guys making the roster or at least the practice squad, because so far I've been pretty whelmed by Snell and Front, who I did like coming out, but they haven't produced at the level I want them to. Obviously, Najee Harris is the stud. He's going to remain the key cog for that running back room, but I keep an eye out on Warren, and we know how it's easier to see the UDFAs at the skill positions because they end up making a few more plays than most. All right, my last name here, Jordan Tucker, the offensive tackle out of North Carolina. Big guy. 6'6", 340 is his listed size. And when I look at this team and I go, okay, where's the one spot where there's a really clear path to a undrafted free agent making the roster? I think you could argue it's the offensive line, right? You've got Dan Moore, Chuck Okorafor, roster locks. I think Joe Haig makes it as your swing tackle. The other options are Chaz Green, John LeGlue, and another UDFA, and Jake Dixon. Tucker didn't play a ton at North Carolina, and he did check in at 6'6", 323, by the way, at the Combine. So, again, cut some weight, which is always a good thing there from that standpoint there. I like Tucker. I think there is some untapped upside here for an offense that didn't quite live up to the expectations and potential that we thought they could live up to. Tucker needs work. Make no mistake about it. But given the positional need at the offensive line spot, he's got a very real path to make it if the Steelers carry a 4th offensive tackle. Plus, we've seen Chaz Green play. You don't want him out there in real games. So make your predictions for me. Will an undrafted free agent make the roster? Type in M for make or N for no make. No one will end up making it. Get those votes, or NM, NM, I misspoke there. M or NM. Get those predictions in for me in the comment section. I bet at least one ends up making it in 2022.